Hi, this is the latest episode of Football Talk with the Silverfox Hustle podcast. Subscribe, follow us. We are out everywhere. Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. So just click on the follow button. Now, today we've got a very interesting topic to talk about, and we want to talk about technology in football. And let me give you an example. You know the sports bra looking thing underneath the players' jerseys. That's something that we're going to talk about today, and together with myself, and we've got someone from Catapult, right? And I'm sure you guys have seen it on television, the brand Catapult, and together with myself here is the commercial director of Catapult Sports, and to talk about powerful video and monitoring solutions to capture, analyze, plan, and share every aspect of football performance. And with me today is Mr. Benoit Croissant.
Hello, Chassis. How are you doing?
I'm
Good?
I'm good. I'm good. And listen, if you don't already know who Benoit is, he's very familiar, right? He has been in Singapore for a very long time. He's played the game, the professional game, many places, right? Holland, Egypt, China, even
England, yeah.
England as well. And obviously, he ended up in Singapore with Tampines Rovers, my friend.
Indeed.
How was Tampines Rovers?
A great experience.
Yeah?
A great experience. So the reason why I came in that region is because, first of all, my wife didn't want to stay in the Middle East region. So
Okay.
that's the first thing. So we were looking for something different. So we didn't have kids at that point of time. And
You didn't?
No, we didn't have kids.
Okay.
And what happened is I get contacted, by someone, Sasi Kumar,
Okay, yeah.
and asking me if I would be keen to play here in Singapore. And Singapore was the best place for us. Why? Is because I didn't want to go back to Europe. My wife thought that Singapore was a great place to live, to work as well.
Yeah.
I could continue my studies, and we made the choice to come here, and we are now living here for the past 15 years. Yeah, and my kids are born here. Yeah.
So they're Singaporeans.
They are, yeah, more than I am. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I've seen them, and they play football as well, and then, great. Your time at Tampines, right? How was it,
Yeah.
football-wise?
Yeah. So getting back to your question for Tampines, so it was a great experience because Tampines was at that point of time one of the best clubs in that league. The owner was very influential.
Yeah.
And it convinced me also to come here and play in Singapore. So the luck that I had is to win. We won like 2 championships.
Yeah.
We played the Asian Football Confederation Cup.
Right.
We did pretty well. Quarterfinals in Iraq was a fantastic experience, and I would say that living in Singapore, playing for Tampines, winning titles, and again, now we don't see many people watching games, but at that point of time in 2008, 2009, we still had like 3,000 to 4,000
You're right.
spectators
Right.
every game. So we were playing the whole stadium, and it was amazing. I mean, you felt that you were a football player at the point of time.
Brilliant. Was it difficult to hang your boots, my friend?
That's a good question, and I have this question a lot. And you are a former footballer, so we had different opinions on that. To me, no, not at all.
Yeah?
Not at all. I do not regret. I had prepared myself. I had anticipated everything for that day. So I hung up my boots at the age of 32. I had still a few opportunities, even in the region, even one in Australia. But it was the good time to stop. I had just finished my master's degree in sports business.
Yeah.
I had already 2 companies in Singapore. So I had tried really to make sure that I was ready for it. And
Okay.
it was 2012. We won the championship. I scored probably the best goal of my career in the last in the last game, or in the last game, I think. And but I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop. My wife was happy. Since the age of 13, being in that industry, it was. I had enough of it. Yeah.
I think it all seems perfect, like the perfect time to stop, right?
Indeed.
And you got it planned as well. I think that's very important for football players. And again, we can talk about football, and we are digressing. We want to talk about technology, but we are talking a little bit about it. But it's okay. I think the planning part is so important for footballers.
I agree 100%, and this is really something that I'm always trying to communicate to ex footballers or current footballers, because those are the
Yeah.
most important guys to talk to. And I had the luck. I had the luck because I was from a very small village. I was not from a city, so a very small village, not lots of exposure. In our time, no TV, no videos, nothing. So, and I got recruited by this academy. It was the National Center of Clairefontaine. So, play for the national team. Played in 8 countries. Yes, if you want me to rate my football career, it was great. It was great enough. It was my level, not a League One player, probably a good League Two players in France, not better than that. But I had a very critical mindset about myself, and study were so important for me. My father, when I signed my first professional contract in Troyes, in League One, I was forbidden by my father to train twice a day because I had to go to school and get my baccalaureate, my A level.
Okay.
Without that, I couldn't train twice a day.
Right.
Once I had it the same day by learning distance. I managed to get it. My father said, no, you can go because you can join any university.
Right.
And so that's how I had this mindset of really being critical, knowing that football is a short career, and I understand that very quickly. I was very lucky.
Brilliant. I think that mindset is so brilliant. And we talk about critical thinking and stuff. We're going to talk about something that's critical, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure you think as well, because you are in the business, right? Now let's talk about Catapult.
Yeah.
Right? What Catapult is all about. Let us all know about it.
Okay. So Catapult is, first of all, the only publicly listed company in that technology industry. So we are now in the stock exchange in Australia. So we are the only one. So basically what it is we are fully SaaS company, subscription company. Everything is about subscription.
Right.
So that's the first thing. So we operate in over 100 countries. We have over 400 based staff. No, 400 staff based across, I would say, 200 countries.
Yeah.
And we work with 40 different sports.
Yeah.
And we work with clients in 100 different countries.
Wow.
So we provide, what we do at Catapult is providing solutions that help optimizing the performance of the players,
Yeah.
minimizing injuries, and speeding up the rehabilitation process. So
Right.
this is what it is about.
Brilliant. And you talk about football technology, right? And you were playing professionally many years back. How different is it in terms of the technology part?
No, that's a fantastic question. I mean, in terms of comparison, so we speak about technology because it's all about comparison technology, like
Right.
collecting data and how you compare. So in our time, Jesse, we had nothing. I mean, I'm pretty jealous of the current players. They have access to data that we didn't have. They have access to video clips that we don't have. Nowadays, they can have access to all the things that can make them better. I mean, in our time, nobody took care of our needs. We didn't have like specific training for a specific position, a specific training about specific movement, so nothing was really thought about this, nothing was designed.
Yeah.
All the program, no periodization. So everything was one block, one package, the team together for preseason or during the week.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really see. We didn't have any visibility on how we could perform or get better. That's why we had injuries sometimes we had recurrent injuries, and because we didn't have
It was like more like a one size fits all, Everybody
100%.
does the same thing
Yeah.
every day, and then it's a routine.
And
every
all the
single
best.
day.
Yeah.
And good luck to you.
Good luck to you. Yeah.
And let's
No,
go.
100%. 100%. I agree.
You talk about the different solutions, right, that Catapult provides, and let's talk about specifically, like let's start talking about the most visible one, right? Is the vest, the vest.
Yeah.
It's the wearables and stuff. Talk us through that. What kind of solutions do you provide with that?
So let's pick. We have, just to make it clear, so it's the stack of technology is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
We have 2 solutions.
Okay.
One is athlete monitoring
Okay.
devices,
Okay.
the bra, as we call it.
Yeah.
Then you have the video solution.
Okay.
So if we go into the athlete monitoring one, the stack of technology is pretty simple. We have different solutions from pro to consumer.
Okay.
So pro will require more support, more parameters, more algorithm.
Yes.
And they will basically want to have a solution that you will provide, which is video and athlete monitoring together. So all the physical data that you're going to get from the athlete monitoring piece will be integrated into the video in order to give more context to the trainings and to the games. So that is pro. Then we go to the core, which is designed again for sub-elite teams, professional youth academies. So these ones, you have all the essential data, parameters, so they will look at it. And if they want a video software, we can see it integrated, but at a lower level. So this one. Then you go to the consumer one. Consumer one is for someone that playing, a small kid playing in an academy. So it's cheaper. You have a few parameters, easy to use, very user-friendly. And they can compare themselves with their peers, with their teammates, and parents can take a look at the players. So these are basically, in terms of athlete monitoring, what we can provide to different or specific organizations.
So the organization can also tell you what they want, and then you can then
they can basically. So what we do is basically you have different personas in an organization.
Yes.
You know that. And you have a CEO, you have a president, we call it a president, then you have a team manager, you have a head coach. In Southeast Asia, you will have one fitness coach. But when you go to the Middle East, you go to Turkey, you go to North Africa, you start to have some sports scientists as well. You will have a doctor, a full-time doctor. Everybody has a different point of view, and they have different needs. A CEO has a certain budget. He wants the best at a cheap price within his budget. The head coach, he doesn't want to use the system. He just wants to have clear and key messages from the end user. The end user wants to use something that is easy to use. He wants to spend more time analyzing than figure out how it works, so spend a lot of, so user-friendly. And you have the doctor, rehabilitation process. We need to get a great collaboration with the sports scientist, with the fitness coach, with the head coach, in order to make sure that that player is ready to come back in order to avoid recurrent injuries.
No, listen, this is so interesting, right? And this just got into my head now. So when you are selling this Catapult, this product, this system to somebody, you gotta like
navigate.
Navigate and sell it to different kinds of people, like in one organization. How do you? It's a tough job, isn't it?
It's a tough job. When I joined the company back in 2015, I was in charge of penetrating that market. So you can imagine that at a point of time, only a few organizations were using the system. And I can't tell you how they were using it. Not the best way possible. So when you get there, what is the most important questions is, what do you do to quantify loads? That's the first thing. So for athlete monitoring, not video, what do you do? That they will respond to you. Have you ever used the technology to quantify that load? Then you start speaking with them and understanding what it is. When you get that point of view or that feedback, you are able to get to the team manager, you're able to go to the CEO. So me at my level now is more like, because in the region you have, for Catapult, in every region you have a business development manager, you have a director, and you have someone for support. My level is really, I go to the decision makers. The BDM will really need to work out what they want, what their needs, what is the best solution for that specific organization, and you need to navigate, as you said.
So for example, for a team here in Singapore, for example, just a professional team here in Singapore, and they're using the vest. So how does this work? So they put on the vest, they go out there, and then there's a video camera as well.
Okay, so a typical day. Football. You have 4 footballers. In Singapore, you have pre-training. I will assume it's like that. You have pre-training, training, and post-training. Normal organization setup. So pre-training is basically probably asking qualitative data to these guys, or questions, in order to understand who's training, who's feeling good, well, unwell. Then the coach is able to understand what kind of program, how he's going to adapt to this training, etc. During the training, then that training, so players using the device
Right.
on the T1 session behind,
Yeah.
the best position to wear is there behind the back. And then if you have a video analyst, which I'm not sure if here in Singapore we
Okay.
have many of them,
Okay.
they can use the video. So with this camera, it's just like recording the session.
Okay.
Training is over, so is how fast you will be able
Okay.
to deliver message
Yes.
to your ecosystem,
Yes.
to the coach, to the players, and make decision. That's the most important thing. Decision making. What are you going to do? So with our system, I will say that in Singapore they should do that. They need to have a quick technology, being able to collect those data, export it, having an opinion on those quantitative data, make it qualitative, as well as for video, where if you're able to bring those wearable data into the video, you give even more context to it. You can create clips,
Yeah.
create a presentation, or even send some clips to a few players. This is about the training. This is needed to do. Look at what you have done there. So the players, when you go back home, after the session, is able to, or the day after the morning, he understand already what is done good or not. That should be the norm now.
So it happens so fast, actually.
It's very fast.
To transfer to the
So fast. So I mean, to give you an idea, I'll give you an example. Arsenal, Arteta, when you see him at the halftime showing them, video clips, for instance,
so it happens.
it's us. So it's so fast because they're able to tag all the events live. They will identify which video clips about what the coach is going to speak. Then they put it live and they can speak and deliver a clear message with pictures, with data. And that's where you can make, those decisions.
I actually wanted to ask you, how accurate are these data? I'm not going to ask you that because it's a silly question. It's accurate. I want to go on to the next point now.
No, it's a good question. No, this is a very good question because you can imagine that being the global leader in sports analytics, because
Right.
we are really at the intersections of sports science and analytics.
Right.
So why are we to that level? Why everybody want to catch up with us?
Yeah.
And I've been being very humble because I know the market. I manage 32 countries, so I know exactly what is happening in that market.
Yeah.
But is having validated data. So, I mean, this has been validated by a good numbers of research institutions. We have over 100 white papers, validated white papers, so this is a very, very clear question because accuracy is very important. At a certain level, they want to know that. Because if accuracy, as you say,
Of course.
you make a decision about the accuracy of the data. If they are not accurate, everything will be biased. So
Brilliant, man. Just a question. What's your who? Not who. How many are there in as competitors to you? Like how many companies are doing the same thing?
I think roughly, I would say so. As we have different product, I would say that for our pro solutions,
Yeah.
we will have two main
Okay.
competitor that we really consider as
Okay.
real competitor.
Right.
If you get to the next level, you will find more
Okay.
again, but this is where you need to make the difference. Is what kind of services you are
Yeah.
provided,
Yeah.
what kind of support. Support is, to me, is very important. It's services nowadays, people, and you're gonna buy something.
Yeah.
If you have a poor servicing, poor user experience, you get away, and that is normal because you have so many. So it's for us very important to keep that credibility and that reputation.
It's very important, because I just spoke to somebody I know, and this person had this vest,
Yeah.
not from Catapult, from a different company,
Okay.
and they just messed it up in terms of they couldn't translate, and then there was something, and then out of 20 players, only 5 players, data came out, those kind of things. So it's very important. Firstly, the technology works, obviously,
Yeah,
and
it
of
works.
course, then the accuracy of the data it's so important.
So important. And technology, as you know, we can have issues with technology, but
Exactly.
it's how fast you can support your customers. And some people here in that region, I won't quote anybody, they will make decisions sometimes which I completely don't understand, where they will go with some companies that have so far, they have poor support, everything. They keep complaining.
Yeah.
And we tell them that we have everything on the ground, here for Singapore, for instance, But luckily, now we are working with the main organization. We just signed UTR,
Okay.
so UTR are going to
Brilliant.
use us,
Lovely.
with all the schools, etc. So we are part of that project, which is fantastic. We work with the FAS, which is great, and we as I always say, Singapore is not necessarily my market. I live here. This is not a huge market, and let's be honest. But the main organization understand more and more, and I'm having more questions and queries about how we can help.
It's important. And, in the past, we talk about technology and all, the most probably before Catapult and before all this came about, it's probably taking a video of a game, right?
Yeah.
And then going back and analyzing, and then it's a tedious process. And then the next day you go into training, and then you tell the players, okay, this is what happens.
Yeah.
But right now, there's the video, obviously, and then you've got the quantitative data as well.
Yeah.
It is also important for the coach also, right? Because then you're not lying to the players.
No.
And you are telling the players,
Exactly.
okay, this is the video, okay, fine. You may think that I'm lying, and these are the raw data. This is the number of sprints you've done.
Yeah.
This is the total distance you've covered.
Sprint, you can get anything you want.
So that is so important for a coach as well. And and I've also got some a feedback from somebody, a sports scientist here in Singapore, and when they first introduced a tag to a player, for example, the player thinks that you're trying to pin something down on me.
Yeah.
Is that the feeling that you get sometimes as well?
It happens. Less, I would say less nowadays.
Yeah.
It's always about reference. If they see Cristiano Ronaldo or Benzema using the vest and uses Catapult, they won't really question it. So it can happen with all players in certain, a former international from a big country, Japan or Korea, will say, no, I'm not wearing that because I don't want you to see what I do. But I think this is wrong. And I get back to what I said at the beginning. We had nothing in the past. Now, they can see everything. If these guys are a bit curious, speak to your fitness coach or to your sports scientist, and you can have conversation and collaborate with them to understand. It's a way again of learning, and I will not understand me being a football player and not really understanding the meaning of this data. I would like to understand it. And I think that this mentality is changing where players start to understand. They don't know the whole concept, but they will start to understand why they are using it and what is the process.
I just want to give an example as well, and this happens everywhere, not only in professional football teams, right? In school football and all. And sometimes when you tell a player, this is the wrong position that you're always in, for example, when you're receiving a ball, for example. And then they keep on doing the same thing in a game. But when you video it and you show it to them, then they realize, because sometimes, I think you've been a player before, and when you're doing it in a game, you don't exactly know, And then when somebody tells you and you still, he's talking nonsense. And then when he shows you on the video,
so
you
important.
Think, damn. And just imagine with that video together with the quantitative data, it's
just amazing.
It's amazing,
It's
right?
amazing.
It's amazing. I just want to touch on, again, going back and now, right?
Yeah.
The speed of football, the intensity of the game. Firstly, let's clear this up. Has it changed? Speed and intensity.
If I give you my opinion, I would say yes.
If it's yes, right? Does that mean that Catapult is more relevant now, more
100%.
than ever?
I 100%. If the day, those players now, that each player has a fingerprint. You need to find a sweet spot for each and every player. Before, we tend to say, don't train too hard, you will get injured.
Okay.
Now they will tell you train a bit more in order to not get injured. You understand, things are changing. But if you don't have the data to tell you exactly where, these, if you can't compare the acute, chronic loads, and you can't really find that sweet spot for these guys, it's never perfect. But that will help you to really find the right balance for your player. And then you can maintain it through the season. That's why the preseason is so important in having this kind of materials, because that will determine what is your player going to do through the season. If it's bad preseason, finish. But before it was like, as you said, all in one and let's go.
Exactly. Okay, I want to put you in a spot in a way, right? You talk about technology and AI and whatever nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Is there a con, like we talk about pros and cons, is there a disadvantage of using technology? It's just off your head, your opinion.
My opinion is it's always finding the right balance. So I just mentioned that before, is too much technology is not good.
Okay.
You need to find, in coaching, you need experience, coaching abilities, and science will come in order to help you to make you better and make your players better.
Yeah.
If this is taking over and we only rely on data and not on your opinion, that will affect everything. So, I mean, that's why it's how you can transform or transition those quantitative data into qualitative data. These are the most important because you need to have your opinion on the thing. So you need to rely on data, but find the right balance.
Yeah, it's the feeling for the game as well as a coach.
Feeling.
You know?
Coach, you're coaching kids as well. You know, you're from a pro. You understand football. You do commentary, so you understand football. So I mean, you have seen things. You went through. You had experiences, so you're able to communicate these experiences.
Have you had any problems convincing a coach to do this, to switch into not Catapult, anything, right? Technology wise.
Yeah. Many times.
Yeah?
Many times. Yeah. Some coaches we call it the dinosaurs, you know, so where they have no clue about technology, first of all.
Yeah.
And again, it's about like willing to learn, you know, it's a learning journey. Some coaches, some people, certain individuals, they can be coached from another industry, they just don't want to learn.
Have you convinced any one of them?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
always, but not always, but 90% at the end.
Yeah.
It's a way of the fact that I'm a former pro as well help a lot. Because I always give them what happened to me, my background, where I'm from, you know, like, all the things help to go that process where I don't like to.
There's credibility.
Exactly. But I don't want to be seen as a sales guy. I always say I'm here to discuss, you know. Of course, I work for a company. I need to bring bread on the table for my family, etc. because I have work. But at the end of the day, I'm passionate about football.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't care to hang up my boots, but I love football so much. So when I go and I speak to any coaching staff, the love of football is coming back. So we're having a discussion. And me, I'm telling, I have the solution. I have something that could help you because you have expectation and needs. And the guy say, listen, let's do that. Let's start by something that is very simple. Take that solution.
Yeah.
Not too much. And you have a few data that will help you, you know, and we're going to help you. This is where the support team is important.
Nice.
To educate.
Right. Has it been easy selling Catapult to like FAs, like big organizations, like the football associations?
I would say less because you always have people in football association who's willing to leave a legacy, willing to improve the way they operate, willing to improve the performance of the players, and you always find someone within that organization that's going to help you.
Okay.
Being is going to be a champion, where he's really going to push for it, and he's going to help you, introduce you to the right people. So, I mean, FA is okay. So, I'll give you an example. So, all for Saudi Arabia, we worked with them for the past 4 or 5 years. We have done tremendous work with them. We help them to really get to that level. I'm not saying that the coaching staff done a great job, but we help them to really use the data perfectly.
Right.
And all the national teams are using it because user experience was great, because there were results. We help them to reach their objective. What's your objective for the next 18 months? We're going to help you. This is how we're going to do. Let's collaborate together. So that's why I'm not you don't want to work with me, you want to work with them. Thank you. I'm not going to chase you. It's not my style. But this is how I can help you. And trust me, we're going to deliver. So that's how we work.
What has been the stumbling blocks? Like if anyone would say no to you guys, what has it been the reasons so far, at least in your experience?
Blockers is always the main topic in any sales job, I would say, because there is always something. They use a competitor. The guy used to that technology doesn't want to change. You know that when you ask someone to change, they don't want to change. They all want to change, but then it's time to change. They don't want to change, even if for the better. Budget could be in Southeast Asia a big issue. So, but the luck that we have is we have those different package that is really designed for a budget for an organization. And the good thing about it, even if it's a top organization, they use like a lower kind of product. We can at the same time educate them in order for them to forecast and for the next 2 or 3 years, and then they can upgrade eventually.
So this is basically a subscription base, right?
Yes.
So it's like a yearly, or it can be anything.
1 year, no, we don't do. SaaS company don't really like a year contract, so
Okay.
it's a minimum 2 or 3 year
Right.
contract.
Okay.
What is important is it's about expansion and retention.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, when you do retention, you can renew. The best is to upgrade them, helping them to get something better, because now they've been with us for 2 to 3 years. Then
Okay.
you want them to be upgraded, and then retention is making sure that the client are happy and they stay with us. For our retention rate, I would say, in my region is pretty solid at the moment. Yeah.
Something just came up to my mind as well. The pros and cons bit, right? Would it be accurate to say that one of the cons is that you need people to know how to use the product as well? Like you know what I mean? Is it easy to use? Is it user friendly? That kind of thing.
Very important to me. Very, very. This is the most important thing. I mean, I would say that I've stepped back from a few deals
Okay.
because I knew they will not use it.
Okay.
It's just because the CEO wanted to look good and have it, but we knew that the end user coaching staff will not use it. So I step back.
Okay.
This is not my style. So what I want is really making sure that if you go for it, you use it perfectly, and we help you to use it, understanding what are you doing, what you're collecting. I mean, this is key for me. The user experience to me is the most important thing. And we have a great reputation, as I said before. Credibility is also very important in order to expand. I manage many countries, many different cultures, many different mentalities. So this whole region as a block, I really want it to be perfectly managed, and I want everybody to be happy.
So you guys actually, when you sell the products and stuff, there's training. Everything is done to the T, and so everybody understands.
Exactly.
Right.
Now we are used to that. So basically, that's why all those questions are important prior to acquiring this technology, because we can identify what is the best solution. Then once they receive the solution, is how we're going to educate them. So on top of that, what I do, we have like some global webinars, workshops, etc. But in my region, every quarter I organize webinars for specific products, specific customers, specific prospect, in order for them to really understand what they're getting. And if they don't do it properly, how they can improve.
Right. Maybe one of the other stumbling blocks is, you talk about the organization and the end users. Once a group of them leaves the club, and then the new group comes
that's
in.
another one. There are many, but this one is a big one.
So the retraining bit is also done by you guys then?
Oh yeah, 100%. We have no choice.
Because when these guys leave, they're not going to then
exactly
worry about these guys.
They don't care. Yeah, but that's a very good point. I mean, this is where. And again, this is, to me, maintaining relationship is very important.
Yeah.
We don't have to be, I would say that most of the CEO president are my friend, like on the region. But, I mean, at the lowest of my BDM, like Idir working, I always tell them is like, maintain the relationship.
Right.
This is so important because if you don't know that this guy is leaving, how are you going to know that someone else is coming and taking over and is going to ask to use another competitor? So this is all about relationship, like everything. So how you maintain it. So some people have natural skills, some they need to develop it. But I mean, I'm pretty lucky with my team. They are doing a great job.
Nice. Well, moving forward, Benoit, what's happening for Catapult? Is there any like upgrades in, I don't know, in the technology bit or what is in the next few 5 years or so?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, as I mentioned before, being the global leader in sports analytics is not easy. You always need to be on top. Everybody wants to catch up. So the key is to be always innovative, creative, and on top of the game. So again, I was talking about user experience. To me, what is key is always making sure that everything that they do when they use our technology is smooth. So the user experience must be quick, fast.
Right.
Decision making must be, how do you say that in English? Instantaneous. Yeah, instantaneous. And if you don't have that, they will not be happy. So now all the software that we do is in order to really make sure that the user is not spending time like putting the device or uploading the data from one console to the cloud. So what we've done recently with our vector core, which is our medium kind of devices, is now we don't have any console. So before in the software you had two components, the console and the cloud. So now it's over. You have a dock station with with the devices. So now through Wi-Fi, all the data are pushed to the cloud, and you have your report automatically,
Wow.
which is already set up in advance and everything. So now, basically, finish the training, the guy take a shower, he come back, boom, he has his report. He can even call the players and say, "Well, this is what it is." So that is basically what we do in terms of video. Every quarter we have updates, amazing updates. Our video software, which is not really well known here in Southeast Asia, we start to get more and more. We have great news. Soon I will let you know when it comes. But there is a few national teams, and it's just amazing what we can do.
If people at home and watching this and listening to this, if you guys have any apprehensions about technology in football and AI and everything else, right? I think it's pretty safe that the technology is here to stay. It is as simple as that.
It will.
Because everything is progressing,
Yeah.
and everything is moving forward. And if you don't want to catch up, then someone's going to get left behind sooner or later.
Yeah.
Clubs are moving forward.
100%.
FAs are moving forward, with technology and all. And
A good point, Shashi, on that, because the work that we have done with, for example, the Thai FA, the Vietnam FA, the academies, PVF, for 5 years in developing the players, you can see now the result.
Yeah.
You see the women's national team of Philippines getting to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what we have done behind the scenes, but how we help them, the girls training overseas in America, how we track them, give them a solution in order to track their training with the device. And we had a solution that we developed during the COVID-19 crisis to push those data to the administrator who is based in the Philippines. So all that is is amazing. Monitoring your players, remotely. It's just amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Benoit, any last words for clubs, for players who are watching and listening to this in terms of Catapult?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still around. I'm still in Singapore. So if you have any question, do not hesitate. It's pretty easy to get a hold of me. And what I would say as a last word is, if you're a footballer, if you're a sports guy, if you want to get into the technology space, is learn, try to get into any conference, any webinar, and don't, as you said, it can be too late if you don't catch up with what's going on in terms of technology. Things are going so fast. So keep learning. That's what I've done all my life, all my career. So is learning.
Thanks so much, Benoit. I think thank you for being here. I think from
Thank
your
you so
busy schedule, your meetings and all, and you're right. I think we need to catch up, and technology is definitely here to stay. Helping teams, helping clubs, helping FAs. We need to move forward, because I think at the moment the other countries are way ahead, clubs wise as well. So we need to catch up. All right. So thank you again, Benoit.
Thanks to you for the invitation. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. This has been the latest episode of the Football Talk with the Silverfox Hustle podcast. Don't forget, subscribe, follow us, and till the next episode. Cheers. See you.